Stop doubting yourself. How many times have you whispered those words inside your own mind only to feel the weight of self-doubt pulling you back again? Whether it's in your relationships, at work, or simply in the quiet of your own thoughts, doubt can be like quicksand. It convinces you that you're not enough, that you'll fail before you even begin. But here's the truth, the voice of doubt is not your truth. It's just fear dressed up as reason. And today, I want to remind you that you are stronger, wiser, and more capable than that voice wants you to believe. Have you ever replayed the same conversation in your mind 100 times, dissecting every word, every pause, every silence? You tell yourself you should have said it differently, or maybe you shouldn't have said anything at all. That endless loop is exhausting, isn't it? Overthinking convinces you that you must analyze everything because somehow if you think long enough, you'll finally feel safe. But the truth is, the more you think, the less safe you feel. Self-doubt sneaks in, whispering that people are disappointed in you, that you'll never measure up, that one mistake has erased all the good you've ever done. And you begin to shrink under the weight of a story that isn't even true. The pain of overthinking is that it feels productive when in reality it's just fear disguised as control. You replay the past as if you can rewrite it, but the past is already gone. What you can control is what you choose to believe right now. The insight is simple but powerful. Mistakes are not proof that you are broken, they are lessons that refine you. Every stumble you've made has added to your growth. The guidance here is to step out of the loop by asking a single question: will this still matter a year from now? If the answer is no, then give yourself permission to let it go. Healing begins the moment you accept that you don't need to be flawless to be worthy. Progress isn't born from perfection, it's born from the courage to keep moving forward even with your scars and stumbles. When you catch yourself spiraling, remind yourself that showing up is already enough. Your presence, your effort, your willingness to try again, those are the things that build a meaningful life, not the illusion of never making a mistake. Rejection, on the other hand, cuts deeper than almost anything else. Whether it's in love, where someone you trusted turns away, or at work, where your ideas are dismissed and your efforts overlooked, rejection feels like evidence that you're not good enough. It can make you question your entire worth in a matter of seconds. The sting of rejection is that it convinces you that if someone doesn't choose you, then maybe you shouldn't choose yourself either. But rejection is not the final verdict on your life. It is not proof that you are lacking, it's a redirection toward something more aligned with your future. Closed doors are often the very things that push us toward new opportunities we never would have considered otherwise. The insight here is that rejection is not about you being unworthy, it's about you being moved to where you are meant to be. Instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What can I build now?" That shift turns pain into possibility. Guidance comes in recognizing that someone walking away doesn't mean your value has walked away with them. Your worth is not tied to who stays or who leaves. Healing begins when you understand that the people who could not see your light were never meant to carry it. You are the keeper of your own worth, and no one else has the power to take that away. Rejection is simply a reminder that your path is still unfolding, and it is leading you somewhere far more meaningful than the place you were trying to force yourself into. At work, the pressure to perform can sometimes feel like carrying an invisible weight on your shoulders. Every email, every presentation, every minor slip seems magnified until you're convinced one mistake could shatter the way others see you. You find yourself staying late, rechecking every detail, rehearsing conversations in your mind just to avoid the possibility of being wrong. This constant striving for perfection can be exhausting, and when you inevitably fall short of the impossible standard you've set for yourself, doubt rushes in like a flood. The painful truth is that perfectionism is not proof of excellence, it is proof of fear, the fear of being judged, of being overlooked, of not being enough. Yet the reality is that success does not belong to the perfect, it belongs to the consistent. Discipline, not flawlessness, is what shapes real achievement. Think of the colleague who steadily shows up, day after day, with reliability and focus. They may not dazzle with brilliance every moment, but their consistent effort builds trust and results. The guidance here is to trade the illusion of perfection for the practice of discipline. Focus on what you can control, arriving on time, giving your best energy to the task in front of you, learning one new thing that sharpens your skills each week. When you shift from chasing approval to building habits, the weight of self-doubt begins to lift. Healing comes when you understand that one bad day does not erase months of good ones. You are not defined by the slip-ups but by the steady rhythm of effort and growth that carries you forward. Consistency outlasts intensity. Stop doubting yourself because you missed a step. Remember instead the countless times you walked firmly, proving your capability over and over again. There are moments, however, when even surrounded by people you still feel the ache of loneliness. You sit in a crowded office, or at a dinner table with friends, yet there's a quiet voice that tells you that you don't belong, that no one really sees you. That kind of loneliness cuts differently. It isn't about being alone, it's about feeling disconnected. Doubt creeps in here too, whispering that if you truly mattered, others would notice, they would care, they would reach out. But loneliness isn't the absence of people, it's the absence of connection, and that connection starts within. When your own inner voice is harsh and critical, when you can't stand in front of a mirror without picking yourself apart, you create a barrier that keeps you from feeling close to others. The insight is that belonging begins when you make peace with yourself. The guidance is to treat yourself with the same gentleness and patience you would offer to a friend who's hurting. When doubt tells you that you are unworthy, counter it with words of kindness. I am here, I am trying, I am enough. Healing begins in those small conversations you have with yourself. As you start to feel at home within your own heart, something powerful shifts. You stop searching for approval in every room you walk into, and instead you carry a sense of peace that naturally attracts the right people. When you see yourself clearly, others who are meant for your journey will see you too, not because you fought for their attention but because you finally reflected your own worth back into the world. Scrolling through social media, it's easy to feel as though everyone else has it figured out. Smiling faces, vacations, promotions, relationships that seem effortless, it creates the illusion that life is passing you by while others surge ahead. The sting of comparison is sharp, because it convinces you that their highlight reel is proof of your inadequacy. Doubt seeps in, whispering that you're behind, that you'll never catch up, that your path is somehow less valuable. Yet what social media never shows are the nights they cried themselves to sleep, the failures hidden off camera, the insecurities behind the filter. The truth is that comparison is a thief. It robs you of gratitude for how far you've already come. Every challenge you've overcome, every small step forward you've taken, becomes invisible when you measure yourself against someone else's journey. The insight is this: your timeline is your own. Just because someone seems ahead doesn't mean you are behind. Their path is theirs, and yours is unfolding with its own rhythm. Instead of shrinking under comparison, shift your perspective. Replace envy with curiosity. Instead of thinking, they're ahead, ask yourself, what can I learn from them? Let their progress be a lesson, not a punishment. The guidance here is to journal the wins in your own life, no matter how small they seem. That job you applied for even though you were nervous, that moment you stood up for yourself, the day you made time for your health, those are victories worth honoring. Healing comes when you stop doubting yourself simply because your timeline looks different. Life is not a race with one finish line. It's a journey where each step matters, even the ones that feel slow. Your story is unfolding at the exact pace it's meant to, and no one else's chapter can invalidate your own. Then comes the fear of failure, perhaps the loudest voice of doubt. That whisper in your mind telling you not to try because you might fall short, because people might laugh, because you might prove what you've always feared, that you're not enough. It can be paralyzing, keeping you stuck in the same place year after year, waiting for a perfect moment that never arrives. But here's the insight: failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. Every great achievement you admire has a history of failed attempts behind it. The author with a best-selling book once faced rejection after rejection. The athlete with medals on their shelf once fell and lost again and again. The entrepreneur with a thriving business once poured their savings into an idea that didn't work. Their success is not in spite of their failures, but because of them. Guidance here is to reframe the meaning of failure. When something doesn't work out, ask yourself, what did this teach me, and what can I do differently next time? Each attempt is a stepping stone, not a dead end. Healing begins when you accept that the only true failure is refusing to start. Every step forward, even the ones that don't look like victory, is evidence of courage. Doubt loses its grip the moment you decide that trying and stumbling is better than standing still in fear. You were not meant to stay frozen. You were meant to learn, to adapt, and to grow through the very experiences that once made you afraid. There are seasons in life when the weight of responsibilities feels relentless. Deadlines, bills, family demands, the constant noise of technology, slowly, they chip away at your energy until you're running on fumes. Stress begins to take control, and burnout creeps in without you even realizing it. You wake up tired, go through the day in a fog, and carry an unshakable heaviness at night. In these moments, self-doubt grows louder because exhaustion makes it harder to think clearly. You start questioning your ability to handle even the simplest tasks, and you convince yourself that you're falling behind in every area of life. The pain of burnout is that it makes you believe your limits are proof of weakness, when in reality they're just signals asking you to pause. The insight here is powerful. Rest is not laziness, rest is strategy. Your body and mind are like instruments. They need tuning, silence, and care in order to perform. Pushing through without pause doesn't make you strong, it makes you brittle. Guidance comes in creating small pockets of stillness. It doesn't have to be dramatic, even 5 minutes of deep breathing before sleep, a walk without your phone, or sitting quietly with your thoughts can create space for clarity to return. These small acts of rest reset your nervous system and remind you that you are not a machine, you are human, and humans require renewal. Healing begins in honoring that rhythm, in understanding that restoration is what gives strength back to your effort. When you allow yourself to recharge, you don't fall behind, you return to your life with sharper focus, clearer vision, and a calmer heart. Doubt loses its grip not because the workload disappeared, but because you regained the energy to face it with strength instead of exhaustion. Beyond stress and exhaustion lies the deeper battle of forgetting who you are. Doubt thrives when you lose sight of your own story, when you measure yourself by what went wrong instead of what you've already overcome. It convinces you that the storms of life broke you, when in truth they revealed your resilience. Think about it, you have already survived every challenge that once felt unbearable. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every setback you swore you wouldn't recover from, you carried them, and yet here you are. The insight is this: the evidence of your strength is written all over your life. The guidance is to remind yourself of that evidence every single day. Write down 3 battles you've survived, 3 times you wanted to give up but didn't, 3 victories you earned through persistence. Keep them close as proof against the lies of doubt. Healing comes in recognizing that your power is not something you're waiting to discover, it's something you already live with. You are not empty, you are full of experiences that prove your resilience. Owning your inner power means shifting your focus from what you lack to what you've already built inside you. Each scar is a reminder that you endured, each lesson is a tool for the future. Doubt fades when you see clearly that you have been carrying strength all along, and that strength is enough to take you forward again. So, stop doubting yourself. Every rejection, every mistake, every lonely night, every moment of fear, none of it has stolen your worth. Self-doubt is loud, but your strength is louder. You are stronger than this moment, stronger than your past, and stronger than the lies in your head. If this spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment about which part hit you the hardest. And subscribe to Motivation and Healing for daily motivation, stress relief, and guidance to keep rising.